Hello everyone, today we'll be writing a QBasic program to find the roots of a quadratic equation. Please, if you've not subscribed for this YouTube channel, do well to subscribe, like our videos, feel free to drop your questions on the comment section and turn on the bell to get notifications for subsequent videos. Now if you look at this is a typical quadratic equation. Being quadratic simply means that we're going to have two answers. That means we're going to have a positive answer and we're going to have a negative answer. Okay, if you look right here, it is being splitted. This particular one, I name it x1, it will give us a positive answer, and this one is the x2 which has the minus to give us the negative answer. Okay, which way it might turn out that our input might even make this one to give us a negative answer and this one a positive answer. Either way, but we're just going to have two answers. If my QBasic compiler is already, my QBasic interpreter is already launched, you can download yours from the internet. It's an open source. Okay, I'm going to start the QBasic program with the keyword, the CLS keyword, which stands for clear screen. Then the next one is rem, short for remark. I want to give a remark to tell my user what my program is all about. This is a program to find the roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, then the next thing now is I'm going to accept my variables. Now if you might be wondering what variable is a named memory location whose values changes during program execution. Variables are like containers. They help us contain data that we are going to use for our program. Now look at this here. Anything that is unknown here is a variable. Like b is a variable. It's going to store data that we'll be using in our program, so we'll create a memory location for that. A is a variable and c is a variable. Even x1 and x2 will be a variable. X1 will hold our first answer and x2 will hold the second answer. Okay, so we're going to impute a, b and c. So I'll use the impute keyword to impute a and also impute b, also impute c. Then now I'm going to convert each of these equation to a QBasic statement, what the interpreter will be able to interpret. There is no way I'm going to be able to type it this way. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to have from the equation, if you take the video back, you see we're going to have x1 to be equals to minus b minus then square root. Here we're going to use sqr as square root. Then we have b raised to power 2, which is b square. Okay, let me expand this so that we can have everything in a straight line. B square, then b square minus 4 multiply by whatever will be stored in A multiply by whatever will be stored in C. Then now this whole thing is going to be divided by 2 multiply by A. Now if I take if I take it this way into my QBasic interpreter, it will run, but it might not give me the answer because each of these operators have their scale of preference. they have the which one the compiler will work on first, just like when we solve some mathematical equation using board marks. So I'm going to introduce some bracket, because whatever is found in the bracket is what the interpreter will execute first. Okay, first of all, I'm going to have a bracket. I'm going to bring in a bracket here, because I want a situation whereby it will solve for this before dividing it by 2 times a. Okay, so I'm going to also introduce a bracket here. Now look at this. Before my square root, I want my compiler to find the square of b. Okay, and I also want my compiler to multiply this, multiply 4 by a by c before finding the square. I can also introduce another bracket here, but it's not necessary. This will still give me the correct answer, whether I introduce bracket here or I don't introduce bracket, because I think square has a higher precedence than minus. Okay, so I can just copy this and take it to my QBasic interpreter. This is for x1. Okay, let's go to the QBasic interpreter. Now I can just do the Ctrl V and paste this here. Okay, this is the equation. Now I can repeat this same equation for x2. So I'm going to also paste it for x2, but this time I'm going to change this x1 to x2. Okay, it is the same thing. So the next thing now is to display the answer to whatsoever is going to happen here, and I'm going to do that using the print keyword. So I'm going to print x1. And I'm also going to print our x2. Okay, and after doing that, I'm going to end the program with the keyword end. Okay, come here, let's test our program. Okay, it is creating an executive file. It's creating an executable file. Okay, let's wait while it creates. Okay, now there's a question mark here, possibly asking us to enter an input. Okay, let me enter 4 for A, let me enter 5 for B, and let me enter 3 for C. Now you see my input now has given me the same answer, and both are negative. Okay, let me press any key to go back and see how we can make this program a little bit interactive and user friendly. I want to introduce what we call a strange constant here that will display a message to our user saying please enter the value for A. So I'm going to type here enter the value for A. Then I'm going to come outside here and put a comma. Now I want to do the same thing for B and also for C. Okay, let me just copy this here, come here, paste it, then come here, put a comma here, then change this particular A here to B, then come here, do the same thing, paste it, then change this particular A to C, then come out and put my comma. Now if we run the program again, this time we should be expecting our strange constant to appear. Okay, look at this, it says enter the value for A. So let's say we enter 5 for A, let's say we enter 5 for B, and let's say we enter 5 for C. Okay, if we press enter, it's going to give us our answer. Now there's still a problem. There is no space between the number we are entering and our string constant. We can still come back here. Let's say we introduce column and space, just to separate the value we are going to enter and our string constant. Okay, so if we run the program again, it's going to give us that space. Okay, so now we have 23. Let me say as 23. Let's say we have 34. Let's say we have 2 for C. Now if we press, this will be our answer, the first answer for the first equation and the second answer for the second equation. We can also introduce string constant here to say the answer is the answer for the first equation is, the answer for the second equation is, just to make our program user friendly. Okay, let's do that right away before we come to the end of this particular lecture. Okay, so let's come here and say the answer for x1 is equals to, then let's also come here and say, introduce our string constant and say the answer for x2 is equals, okay, we introduce a comma here. Now let's run the program again to see the beauty of what we just did now. Okay, enter the value for A, we enter 5, enter the value for B, we enter 4, enter the value for C, we enter 3. Now you can see the answer for x1, the answer for x2. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please do well to leave your questions on the comment section. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so that you can get subsequent videos. Thank you for watching.